Had to do 3 jobs, cleaning up vomits of people. We're at $60,000 personal debt. And it was winter. I used to sit just in the car, bro. My toes frozen, bro. Like I used to not feel them.
And now you've built, humbly say, a real estate empire before Dilda.
Alhamdulillah.
What was the driving force behind the ambition that led you to do that?
The competitive nature in me, I think, was from the very beginning. I teach my kids to count up to 100. Then I say it's not worth counting after that. You just go to 1 million. Why do I need to learn how to count from 101 to 1,000? I just go to 10x, 100x, man. Multiply. Stop adding. How long are you going to be just adding in life? That was the third. And the fourth and the final one.
I didn't expect that last one. To be honest with you.
I think the key thing we need to know is winners and achievers don't wait for momentum to happen. High achievers produce momentum on demand. And that's done through discipline. It's literally creating a list of your non-negotiables and start to doing them. For example, 5 times prayer. The most important skill, bro, to learn as a real estate entrepreneur, any entrepreneur.
I mean, you just taught me something I know, but I didn't know. If the whole episode was just this part about it's over. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Abu Abdullah here. Before we get into the podcast, I'd like to welcome you to the Madinah Project, a podcast dedicated to empowering Muslims with financial independence, locational freedom, and a legacy of righteousness bi-idhnillah azza wa jal. We're here to help and inspire Muslims like you to break into tech, real estate, and entrepreneurship, to build businesses that serve the ummah. On this podcast, we highlight Muslim entrepreneurs and their businesses, share with you game-changing insights, and give you the tools to transform your life so you can better serve Allah and your community. If you're ready to take that step with us, all I ask of you is to subscribe to the Madinah Project, share to spread the khair, and join us on this journey where we're building stronger Muslim communities, one project at a time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my brother.
My brother, welcome.
Alhamdulillah, man.
So I'll dive right into it. Because I need to get every second of your time. Bi-idhnillah azza wa jal. Okay?
Inshallah.
So for starters, for those who don't know you, who is Sam Amin?
Oh my God, bro. That's always a loaded question for me. I'm just a simple man trying to every day compound 1% every day.
Oh, my.
Just get better 1% every day because the effect of compound, both negative and positive, is huge, man. And inshallah, when we talk business and real estate, we'll get more into the effects of compounding. But my goal now is in all areas of life, just compound daily 1% more, 1% more, 1% more, inshallah.
Allah Mubarak. I do want to build up on that, but then that will put me off script. But I mean, that whole concept of compounding, I know what that means. Like if you think about it in terms of business for sure, but even a religious perspective, right? In terms of your health, right? People undermine it so much, but numbers don't lie, right? They speak for themselves.
Absolutely, man.
But I want to know though, what is your story, Sam? What is your story?
So the story is 16-year-old Sam moved from Bangladesh, immigrant from Bangladesh. I'm the oldest of the child in the family of 5. So 2 younger brothers and sisters. And my parents moved to the Bronx. We're both from the Bronx, alhamdulillah. 1-bedroom apartment in 205 Street. 5 people crammed together. Had to do 3 jobs. One of the jobs was 12 a.m. to 8 a.m. working, they call the graveyard shift,
right, in
a downtown restaurant, cleaning up vomits of people. All these crazy people used to come after their craziness. They would come to this restaurant, that are open in New York City 24 hours so they can use the restroom, puke, do everything they need to do, fill themselves up a little bit and go home and just sleep for the rest of the day, right? So that was my first job. After doing that 12 a.m. to 8 a.m., used to go home. Sleep. The home was like an hour and a half ride, right? So just nap there, then sleep another 3 hours. Then the next job used to be 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. working in local McDonald's. Yeah. And then working in another McDonald's in Manhattan that is 6 p.m. to 10 or 11 p.m. Then going to that downtown restaurant again. So it used to be crazy, man.
That's 3 jobs.
3 jobs crazy. Until college started. One good thing, alhamdulillah, my father did, whatever savings he had, which was, mashallah, $5,000 US. That's all we came with to America. $5,000 US. He put that, because at that point, and you would relate, bro, what do they call it when you're not a resident and it's a non-resident tuition? Like it's a much higher tuition,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, like out of state. You know,
Out of state.
it's not even just out of state, but international. I was in the same situation as you.
Yes, subhanAllah.
Yeah.
So, alhamdulillah, even though I was 16, they saw my transcripts. They had me do a placement test in English and math. And after seeing the placement test, they said, you don't have to go to high school, alhamdulillah. So I was able to go to university when I was 16. Yeah. And the first semester cost me $5,000. And you had to go to first semester. You have to pay the higher. And then you would, financial, what is it called? I forgot. Financial aid, FAFSA, and TAP. You could apply for all that. Yeah, those words are coming back. SubhanAllah, it's been too long ago, man. So the first semester he paid out of the last penny that he had. But that was 6 months after moving to New York. And after that, went to college. So reduced from 3 jobs to 2 jobs, going to college. But yes, that was the start, brother. Alhamdulillah.
Wow. I never met anyone in real life that I know did 3 jobs at the same time. So
it was craziness. It was craziness, man.
May Allah reward your father.
Amin.
Investing in you.
Yes, absolutely.
Barakallah fiqh. So you migrated from Bangladesh as a teenager.
Yep.
And now you've built what we can humbly say a real estate empire before Dillah Azza wa Jal.
Alhamdulillah.
May Allah bless you and increase you. I'm so intrigued to know, truly, what was the driving force behind the ambition that led you to do that?
Ambition, man. Alhamdulillah, the competitive nature in me, I think, was from the very beginning. I don't know if it came from my parents, from my mother's side, father's side. It came from one of the sides. I'm not sure till this day which side it came from. But the competitive nature was always in there. For good or bad, it was always in there. For example, bro, when I used to go to school, I used to always hang out with the backbenchers in Bangladesh, okay? But always came out first. Always came out first, and we used to have 3 terms of exams. Like I always used to be what they call first boy, the captain of the class, but the backbencher. Because the competitive nature, I just wanted to not beat everyone, but just be the best, right? Even when going for exams, when I was sitting in these exam halls, I used to compete with myself to be the first one out in the whole school. Like down with the exam and out, even though there is no reward or nothing for it. Personal. It just felt good. Just being out of the first one, finishing it up. Let's say it's a 3-hour exam. I would love to finish it in an hour, and still get an A, still get 100 out of 100. It was just like crazy competitive nature, man. That was from the beginning, alhamdulillah. Second thing is my father, right? So subhanAllah, from early age, he always used to get me books outside of the school curriculum. Like reading was a big part of our family culture, like super big culture. Like I used to come home, there should be a book ready, finish it in a week. And there should be another book. What kind of books? Literally biographies, bro. I was reading biographies of these people. At that time, I did not know how big of a deal these people are. Let's say MLK. Like a Bangladeshi kid reading about MLK. I was like, bro, this my father asked me to read. I have no idea. It doesn't even matter to me.
I have a dream in Bangladesh.
Yes. So those kind of readings, opened me up to like, interesting. This is interesting. That's interesting. So I learned a lot. The reading became part of the habit. Competitive nature was always there. Then the third big change happened when I still remember, man, in New York. One of these professors, his name was Nigel Codrington. Okay, and he's from Trinidad and Tobago. That man had a
name.
Yeah, I remember, man, because that man had a huge impact. And remember, we're discussing on my podcast that, mashallah, we did, which is going to come out, you guys are going to see, that there are 3 levels of mentors. Right. One is someone who's just reading books. Second is someone who's hanging out with someone who is experienced and applying that knowledge. And third is actually doing it, right? Actually doing it. So Nigel Codrington was my business law professor and finance professor. But he had his own law firm in Grand Central. Like literally owned his own law firm, own offices. So why was he still teaching? Just out of passion. And he used to do just these 2 classes. And his schedule was crazy, bro. Like once a month or twice a month, he should come and do these classes. Okay. And he moved to the States when he was 16.
Ooh.
So there was a lot of things I was relating to, man.
Yeah.
So when he used to teach, he used to say, I'm teaching you guys these things. After you graduate, if you work for a law firm and if you see me in the street, don't come and say hi to me. If you work for a bank after learning finance or a wealth management firm, If you see me in the street, don't come and say hi. But if you own an asset and wealth management firm where you are the key decision maker, that's when if you see me in the streets of Grand Central, come and say, hello, Mr. Codrington. You know? So, bro, that had a profound impact on me because that's not a professor language. None of the professors were speaking this language. So when this man, and then he was talking big. He was like, I teach my kids to count up to 100. Then I said, it's not worth counting after that. You just go to 1 million. Literally.
He used to say that.
Yeah, he was. And I don't think any of the students is like, what is he talking about? But for me as a 17-year-old, with the competitive nature, with the books I read, with that chip on the shoulder, going through that hardship that I was going through at that time, that was like a hope for me, man. Wow. Like, why do I need to learn how to count from 101 to 1,000? After 100, I just go to 10x, 100x, man. Sit. Just skip. Multiply. Stop adding. How long are you going to be just adding in life? This is why we're talking about buying buildings. How long are you going to buy one home at a time? You're just adding. You need to multiply. 32 units, 38 units, 168 units, 1,000 units. You know, that's when you multiply. So that was the third. And the fourth and the final one, alhamdulillah, Allah blessed me with a good wife, man. Yeah, so when I married, I was 23. I think I just turned 23. So I was like 22, late 22. I had negative $35 to my name, bro. And that's in 2016. Alhamdulillah, by 2019, I made my first million.
Allahu Barak.
And never in my dream, I thought it would happen.
SubhanAllah.
So alhamdulillah, we got married at the toughest time. So she sees me and knows me for who I am for real. Right? And the support, alhamdulillah, I got. So it's very important, man. And kids that are not married now, it's very important to not go for, you know, all the other things are important. But how much compatible competency amongst each other, right? Can she be the mother of your children? Those are more important questions. Everything else matters. We all want the beauty. I would be lying if I said, it does. But we all want the beauty. We all want everything else. But these are key, you know, because everything else, and we're married men, we know, bro. Sometimes it just doesn't matter sometimes.
Right.
Yeah. But those things have lasting impact. So alhamdulillah, these are some of the things that give me the drive.
I didn't expect that last one. You know, to be honest with you. And I'm so grateful to Allah Azza wa Jal to even hear this from you, to be honest.
Alhamdulillah.
And to know that, you know, first and foremost, you're a man, you're going to give a shout out to your wife. Like you're giving her, you know what I mean, her credit. And two is that, you know, may Allah Azza wa Jal bless your marriage and bless your wife.
Amin.
That there are sisters out there, bifadlillah Azza wa Jal, you know, who, you know, like the cornerstones, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To even be in that financial position, we know today, people struggling, even with money, to get married. But to be in a situation where you are, you know, what they will say below rock bottom.
Yeah.
And the sister still says, you know what? I see this man for who he is.
Yeah.
I'll rock with him.
And she comes from a family of wealth, bro. I didn't mention that part. Oh. And that's where I think she learned a lot of the business savviness. Her father is, mashallah, like your father. It's a big merchant from back home, doing great stuff. Like, alhamdulillah, they come from I come from not a poor family, like a middle class. Just like, alhamdulillah, just, you know, hanging in there, mashallah, you know? It's not like we don't know where our next meal is coming. SubhanAllah, my father took care of us.
You guys were hard workers, bro. You were doing 3 jobs.
Yeah,
alhamdulillah. You know? So you can't go hungry, bifadlillah. You know?
Alhamdulillah. Well, you can't go hungry, bro. I remember when I made the move from New York to Michigan, right? The first 6 months, because we didn't have food stamps. Because, you know, when you change states, they cut off your food stamp. Bro, we were eating rice and lentil and potato for 6 months. And that's when I have those pictures. I gained so much weight, man. Because as Bengali, you think, oh, I'm just eating rice and lentil and potato. But it's carb with carb with carb. Advice to all the Bengalis, man, don't do that. I know this is like our favorite cuisine, bro.
Yeah.
Some rice with some lentil, some potato, squeeze some lemon, like you're good.
That's supposed to be healthy.
Yeah, that's supposed to be like, man, I'm doing good, you know? It's 3 carbs put together. But subhanAllah, man, sometimes, you know, below your means. That's all we could afford. We couldn't afford red meat.
Allahu Akbar. You know, subhanAllah, hearing this, and I'm diverting from my script, bro, but I have to.
That was my intent.
It's good. No, this is really good. This is really good because, you know, I'm getting to know you, alhamdulillah.
Yes.
You know, sometimes I fear for me, for myself, bifadlillah azza wa jal, I never struggled. Alhamdulillah. You know, when I say struggled, I mean my family. My father, alhamdulillah, because he struggled.
Yes.
Okay? In a sense, yeah.
Yeah.
But he worked hard and he never let us saw any hardship, bifadlillah. And he actually tells me his father did the same, right? In a sense. But sometimes I get concerned, subconsciously, right? That I'm like, okay, if all these people now have been able to achieve great things, had to go through some tremendous challenges. If I cannot pinpoint to a point in my life where I'm like, oh yeah, that was, difficult, then maybe, am I going to be able to reach those dreams and those goals? You know what I mean?
Yes. No, this is a great thinking, brother. And this shows the goodness in you. But let me tell you good news out of it. My biggest mentors, advisors, and helpers have been people just like in your position, man. And I'm ever so grateful to them. For example, one brother, and he never minds, he just laughs and sends me texts, bro, will you stop mentioning me? But he doesn't mind. His name is Brother Safir, okay? And I have to, I cannot be, grateful enough. So he was my first, big client, mashallah. So I don't think Safir has ever, struggled financially, right? But his father, mashallah, like a lion, bro. Brother Razi, okay? And I don't know his personal story. I don't know if he struggled or not.
The name sounds like a lion.
Yeah. So he, mashallah, I think immigrated from India to California or Chicago when he was a college kid. So I'm sure he went through struggle as a single man and everything. Then he got married. But Safir is the second generation. So he has his father's IQ, vision, understands. His father, mashallah, is a huge Silicon Valley entrepreneur.
Wow.
And is a senior executive with AWS, Amazon Web Services. Okay. You're from the tech industry, bro. These are like tech family, like powerful Muslim tech family of Silicon Valley. This is the Muhyiddin family. So Safir in a Sam's life, without that, bro, I would not, because it's like, subhanAllah, I have not seen that. I have not seen organized structure, business life, what it entails. Yeah, I have the ambition. I'm competitive, but if not guided well, bro, you could be a drug dealer.
That's right.
Seriously, because competition, ambition, those things are needed, right? You gotta be competitive. You gotta be ambitious
and
to
these
make
things
it
are
big.
happening, by the way.
Yeah, exactly, man. But if it's not channeled right, if that energy is not channeled right, if you're not getting the right advice, you don't know. Sometimes you make crazy decisions, especially when you are minus 35 4 years ago, and you made your first million 4 years later. If you don't have those people in your ears, in your circle, man, you're going to make crazy mistakes.
Right.
So this is where you come in, bro. This is where people like you come in. Not only you do great things for your own life, there are so many other Sams out there, bro. That are probably coming from Bangladesh, from Guinea, from where you're from other people. You become that uncle, that brother to them. Because that you have already been nurtured. They're not nurtured, man.
Right.
They don't know, but they have a lot in here. So this is your role.
SubhanAllah.
Seriously, man.
Akhi, as I listen to this, I'm just thinking, this is a theme that keeps recurring with all these conversations I'm having with these brothers, right? Harris, Dr. Maz, you. I just keep hearing this whole concept of, being able to have mentorship, which I believe is lacking in our community tremendously, right? And of course, alhamdulillah, I'm happy to hear that you had someone like Brother Safir, right? To be there for you for this, because I asked, Brother Harris, last guest, what do you wish you had growing up when you were, starting up in your journey? He said, I wish I had someone to speak to me, to advise me, to guide me. I say the same thing, and I've heard others say the same thing. So, but I love that this topic keeps coming up, because the more we speak about it, the more we will start thinking that whether we had it or not, we have to start giving it. And this is one of the best ways to give back. We know that in Islam, ad-dinu nasiha, the religion is advice. And advice doesn't always have to be at a cost. We don't always have to charge money, right? Because if everybody charged us, we wouldn't be where we are.
Absolutely.
Especially when you mention a brother like this coming from such a family. The value, if they had to charge you money for that,
Man, I could never pay him
You
back.
couldn't afford it.
Yeah, I could
Right.
never pay him back.
Yeah.
It was not only Safir, mashallah, bro. And the way the question might be that how do I get in? Somebody watching this might say, okay, brother Abdoulrahime, this is great. Mentorship is great. So how do I get an access to a Safir in my life or an a Abdoulrahime or let's say a Sam in my life now? It's simple, bro. You don't ask like whoever you're trying to be, right? For example, if I'm a guy making $20,000 a year, I shouldn't get a guy who's making $1 million a year as my mentor now. I should literally get a guy $80,000 to $100,000 he's making in life as my mentor. And that's why mentors change in life. Change as in you evolve, your space evolves, everything evolves with you, right? So the way to do it is you ask that guy making $80,000 to $100,000 a year. You don't actually ask, what can I do to help you? What can I do to add value? You already add value in that person's life and bring it to them.
Wow.
Yeah. So for example, we were talking about a social media manager, right? And alhamdulillah, mashallah, if the brother might be watching, you're already in. And we have something great for you and we're gonna be talking to you. But let's say somebody watching this like, okay, Sam needs a social media manager. I'm telling you right now, Abdoulrahime needs a social media manager. So instead of bombarding us with, how can I help you? How can I be your social media manager? Record a Loom video, screen share, already show us something crazy.
Yes.
And then we should see like, man, bro, we've been missing this out. Let's call this guy.
Right.
Let's make it happen. So this is how you are not only adding value, you're working for us. And in the meantime, you're going to get mentored by Abdoulrahime because now, mashallah, he's your employer.
Right.
Now you see, bro. So it's not going to be, so it's not free directly in that sense because everybody's time is precious.
Right.
But you have to add some sort of value and you get the value back in forms of mentorship. Wow. So for me, Safir was my client.
Right.
So him being my client and his father being my client, then his whole circle of Silicon Valley became my client and they're still my clients. And I took them selfishly, not as my clients, but as my mentors.
Yeah.
So I'm making money from my mentors, bro. I'm not paying them. I'm actually making money from my mentors because my clients have gone so far ahead in their lives. Right. One person had a $60 million exit from his startup tech. You know, and if that person is my client, bro, who's getting actually the benefit? Like literally, I'm getting paid to be mentored by this guy while selling real estate.
Crazy,
unbelievable, and everybody could do that in their trades.
Well, I do want to give you credit though. There, you still have to get the credit, and that goes back to what you're just saying now about this person listening, create that Loom, create that video, right? Because yes. I mean, this is crazy. Like you're not paying to get mentorship. You're actually making money and you're getting mentorship, right? But the truth also of that is that you are delivering crazy value for them because otherwise they won't be your client. Yeah. Right. So it's both ways. And that's why whenever like in a transaction and one party is benefiting while the other's not, it's not a transaction anymore.
Yes.
It's more like exploitation.
Yeah.
Right? And that can go back to marriage. That can go back to business. That can go back to anything.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody has to be benefiting somehow.
Of course. And I try to be, bro, always in a relationship, 51-49.
Yeah.
That should be the goal.
Right.
Like where you are giving at least 51%. At least 51%. Sure.
Most people probably understood they're taking 51%. I'm glad you clarified. SubhanAllah. You give more than you get. And you will get more.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Alhamdulillah.
So good, man. So good. Jazakallah khair. So, I want to go back to your journey though.
Okay.
Starting from the bottom. And I know we already spoke about minus 35, and, the 3 jobs and, everything. But starting from the bottom is never easy. Like everybody knows that, right? What were some of the toughest moments that you will say you faced while you were building your career and how did you actually push through?
Yeah, man. So there are few instances like that, right? And they keep coming, but at different levels, right? Alhamdulillah. So I think the first was when I moved from New York to Michigan. And the reason we moved with the young family of my younger brother, younger sister, my parents, only after 5 years in New York, was just the same reason as you, bro. But alhamdulillah, I was not courageous enough to think to go abroad. For me, was I have to go to a state where there are more conservative people and it's not as liberal, as crazy as New York, right?
Sounds like my trip to Atlanta.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. You're right. Actually, before Egypt, you went to Atlanta. So same here. For that reason, moved to Detroit. Mashallah, a lot of Bangladeshis there, a lot of Muslims there.
I went to Detroit first.
You did?
I didn't stay. I went to visit, but I didn't stay. I chose somewhere else. I'm sorry to cut you, but that was just interesting.
Yeah, subhanAllah. So, Detroit was the choice for us. But when I made that move, brother, Habibi, like, we're at $60,000 personal debt. Like $60,000 with the whole move, everything, loans from family. One uncle gave $40,000 loan. The rest maxing out the credit cards. Allah forgive us, man. $60,000 in personal loan move. So minus 60K. And you're moving to a new state. And the job that I was relying on, it was an AT&T salesperson job. And they said I got the job. They sent the offer letter. I signed it. It was in Dearborn. Literally, bro, I show up the first day on the job. They say, oh, sorry, you missed the email or something. You don't have the job anymore. What happened? Some sort of cuts, some corporate BS, bro. Literally, I don't have the job. I didn't see the email. It was a blessing that I didn't see the email. If I had seen the email, I would not have moved to Michigan. And we wouldn't be sitting here. SubhanAllah, bro. So imagine I sell, because my dad always says, I'm always scared to talk to you because you're always selling something. He's like, I trust my
own father.
Yeah, he's like, I trust my daughter-in-law more. What he means is that, alhamdulillah, when I believe in something, like, you'll have no choice but to have the same conviction as me.
Allah Mubarak.
Bro. So that's why he says I'm scared. When you have an idea, I'm scared, son. So because he always goes back to this Michigan idea.
Allah, you sold him to go.
Because I can Michigan. It is.
And it was.
It was. Alhamdulillah, man. So you see, it worked out. But at that time, though, when I imagined that ride back home, bro, I couldn't tell my parents. For 6 weeks in a row, or maybe more, I pretended to go out every day. And it was winter. And just half mile away in a big furniture store. And 2014 Michigan, you could imagine how the economy was, bro. Like, if you know the world economy, American economy, just recovering. And now imagine Detroit economy, we just filed for bankruptcy 2 years ago, right? So the furniture store used to be empty. So in that parking lot, I used to sit for 8 hours just in the car, bro. With no heat on, nothing. Just the car is I don't have the luxury of keeping the car on.
Gas.
Yeah. 28 degrees Fahrenheit, 29, at best 34, 35. Those days I was so happy. It's above freezing. Literally, man, my feet, my toes, and I've never said this story to anyone. My wife knows only. Frozen, bro. Like, I used to not feel them. Just literally sit there for 8 hours because I don't know what to tell my parents.
You don't know where to go, what to do.
Nothing, because what are you going to do? I'm just applying online, looking at jobs, doing everything on my phone that I could. But that's it.
You were applying and you were looking for stuff.
Yes, absolutely. 100%, brother. I was making all the effort, but those efforts are all online. You need a place to sit down and even have $1 to spare to chill in the McDonald's and work from coffee shop,
Right.
Those are too fancy, right? So work from the car, have the car turned off, negative freezing. I think 6 to 8 weeks, I pretended working like that. And of course, they're thinking payroll is going to come. We're going to pay this. SubhanAllah, bro, it was the toughest time. Then one job I applied for, because I searched, something came in my mind, Islamic finance jobs in Michigan. Literally, I just searched that. And there's this one job opening came up for a mortgage loan officer. I shouldn't say loan officer, like the Islamic mortgage officer. You remember the company, bro, UIF, University Islamic Financial?
For sure.
Yeah, it's an Islamic finance company. So I was their first Islamic banker or mortgage rep. I applied. Alhamdulillah, got that job. Alhamdulillah, So that was the turning point for that phase. There are many phases like that, brother. And the hardest phases are, because in that phase, only my parents think I'm working. The rest of the world knows this is a broke kid. So I have no one to make up anything to.
Right.
But when people think you have made it, and this is the game of start and stop of entrepreneurship, man. People would think this guy has made it. He's a millionaire. And maybe you just made $100,000 last year. But people's impression is such. And especially, we don't care what people think, but especially when you're trying to build a team. So the team thinks highly of you. The leader, now if the leader is wounded, man, and the leader cannot pay their bills, of course the team is not going to trust you.
True.
Sometimes it's not, fake it till you make it. this is on, people say that those people don't know, who don't know, right? Bro, it's sometimes your team. So it's not even faking it.
Yeah.
You have to keep the dream alive.
You must.
Yeah, and there's ups and downs. If you fake it, call it whatever you want to call it. But sometimes for keeping the dream alive, because the team is relying on you, and you are seeing, because you're the leader, you're at the top of the mountain, you're seeing the light. They're not seeing it yet.
Right.
They're only seeing you. Right?
True.
Yeah, so you have to keep the momentum going. So one last story I would say, bro, there's so many like that, right? But the phase when people think you have made it is a story when I think it was in 2018. I had just bought my first office building. So alhamdulillah, it was $400,000. I used my last bit of cash to buy it. This is all I had. Okay, this was in 2018. Bought it. And that's the year I call it the year of barakah. This is when Zainab was born, my first daughter. Bro, this is barakah after barakah came. Alhamdulillah. So that's the year got building. But after buying the building, literally for 2 weeks, we couldn't buy her diapers. So we couldn't take her out. She just has to stay home. She was like 2 months old.
Wow.
Literally could not afford the diaper. And at that point, I had some plans. I had some cash coming, but I knew it's going to be cash strapped for the next 2-3 weeks. But I had some big deals closing. We would be replenished again. But that time, that phase was super hard, man. Long, brother. And especially when you had to show up in the office every day, happy, jolly, showing the team everything is good. We just bought this building. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Make it happen. But at home, your wife knows. You know that your wife knows that it's like there's nothing in there.
How are you even able to? I mean, as someone who's had a team, I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Like this exact scenario. Like, how do you show up at the office and be okay? Everything is okay, and just get them pumping, going like that, knowing what you know.
I think, bro, it's a very actually deep question. I've never thought about it, but I think you get into that flow state, man. It just becomes a flow state for you because goes back to the Bruce Lee quote: "Not scared of a man who knows 10,000 kicks, but scared of the man who knows one kick and practiced it 10,000 times." So you have to, and this is why in partnerships and everything in business, whatever sort of partnership, it's very important to know if the person is battle tested. Because the person could be high IQ, genius and everything, but if you're partnering with them and they're not battle tested, the first sign of battle or war, brother, they're going to crack. It's so hard to deal with crybabies, man. Because these are people, I call them, are we there yet people? People sitting in the back bench of the van, nap, and you're the one doing the 18-hour ride from Madinah to Dubai. Brother, just wake up every 3 hours. Are we there yet?
Yeah.
Oh, no, we still have to. Do you need anything? Before you could even finish, they go, so, bro, those people cannot be your business partners.
True.
So I think it comes with practice. Small things that happens in life, how you articulate. So everything that happens to you actually is happening for you.
Right.
And you have to take that as a training ground. Small things, bro. Take it as a training ground. Make it work your way. Do everything possible. And just remember the steps that you're doing, everything you're doing. Be conscious of things. Right? Be conscious of things. And daily, we're actually handling struggle.
Right.
But we don't pay attention to it. Pay attention to it. Give some time, pat on your back, like, oh, I just handled this pretty amazingly, right? Do it again, then bigger things, and you just build a muscle.
Is this kind of like, can we say this is part of the 1% daily increase?
Yes, 100%, brother. 100%. I also study people. I watch, alhamdulillah, a lot of interviews, the interviews that went wrong, not the great ones. The interviews where someone was just awkward and then turned the whole interview around. It's an interview where someone was pushed back, but was actually able to come back out stronger. Interview where Elon Musk is sitting with Jack Ma. At that point, Jack Ma was like the grandfather of Elon Musk in terms of money and net worth. So the way Jack Ma was speaking was very condescending to Elon Musk. I don't know if you saw the interview,
I saw it.
Yeah. Did you see Elon Musk's face? He's just making these facial expressions. So I learned something from him. So sometimes when you're sitting with these, let's say, competitor, and they're much bigger than you and all eyes on them, maybe it's better not to say anything. Maybe just make facial expressions. Let's say Jack Ma said something, Elon Musk did not agree at all. He did not interfere. He said, no. Because he knew whose net worth is what.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, bro? But he did make sure to make facial expression like, nah, that doesn't make sense.
All right.
Are you kidding? Like, bro, he kept making those faces.
Saw it.
And now look at this man worth $400 billion.
Crazy.
Half trillionaire, bro.
Crazy.
Yeah. So you have to study. You have to study. So next time you're in this situation, it will come to you.
And I'll deal with it.
Yeah. This is what to apply when.
I mean, to me, you know, I'm so glad you like bringing that situation up between Jack Ma and Elon Musk. And that goes back to kind of like what you said earlier as well, right? You the leader.
Yeah.
You see the light, they don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
To me, Elon Musk in that situation is like, bro, I'm taking rockets to Mars.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's okay. Continue with the, you know, it's
with
great
your
what you're doing. It's great what you're doing. E-commerce is great.
Yeah.
But I'm building the boring company. I'm doing, you know, crazy stuff that, you know, so he's seeing something that this guy's not seeing. And sometimes, like you said, you know, you don't even have to respond. And that's more powerful than the response itself, you know?
And those times are the most exciting times as an entrepreneur. When, you know, the whole world is doubting you, bro. And you're silently making moves. You're silently cooking something.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's about to explode.
Yeah.
But all these guys are thinking, he's out. He's nowhere to be seen. His time is done. His time is over. It's our time now. And then, boom.
Fuel.
Yeah.
They were just fueling you. They don't even know.
Exactly, bro. Your explosion happens.
Oof, so good.
Alhamdulillah.
Allahumma barak. So, I mean, I want to divert so much, but this is going to be, you said part 2, 3, and 4, and
Inshallah,
10, right?
brother. And we're going to do many things together, man. So people are going to, by the way, you know, if you allow me to say it, bro.
For sure. Come on, man. This is yours. Wallah, this is yours.
People are going to see us together many times, man.
This
is just, again, some silent moves that we're making.
Inshallah.
Alhamdulillah.
May Allah grant us tawfiq, man.
Amin.
So that takes me to say, because a lot of these things I'm hearing, right, is that there's a resilience from you. Not only the competitiveness, right, from being in school, you know, being backbenchers, but at the same time still, you know, being that. It's crazy because that was me.
Yes.
As I'm listening to you, wallahi, I'm like, this was, like, I was a guy who definitely I'll cause trouble in class sometimes.
Yeah.
Right? I may look like, but at the end of the day, when it comes to let's compete and you know, with the grades or whatever, you know, and also I got to please my parents anyway, right? Like that's how I know I'm going to get what I want.
Right.
So, but that also tells me this resilience from a young age. And when it comes to entrepreneurship, without it, you're not going anywhere.
Right.
Because you're going to get knocked down.
Yeah.
Elon Musk came down to having to borrow money to pay rent.
Of course, man.
Can you believe that?
Of course.
Tesla
was on the verge of filing bankruptcy, right? 2008 or 2009. Yeah, and he could not raise funds. Then he had to literally sell everything, make calls, give people a crazy percentage, and keep the company afloat.
And today he's...
Seriously, unbelievable stuff.
Great, but that's what it takes.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it takes. And, you know, you having to put everything into that building, not even being able to buy diapers for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's literally what it takes.
Yeah.
You know? And those who are not willing to make those kind of sacrifices and go that hard ain't gonna make it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Only person that needs to believe in you is you, bro.
That's it. And even the competition, because I was going to ask you earlier, who were you competing against? But then I'm like, I know the answer. You're not competing with because it's an internal thing.
Yep.
You know, and when that's the case, who can beat you?
Nobody, bro.
You know,
because you're competing with your potential that's out there for tomorrow.
Crazy.
I'm competing with my next best potential. The 10-year version of me. I'm 32 right now, the 42-year-old version of me. I'm competing with that person. And I want that person tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't want to wait till 42. That's what I'm competing against, bro.
So good, Akhi. As a practicing Muslim.
I try to be, brother.
May Allah preserve me and you upon Islam.
I mean.
How did you navigate the real estate world without compromising your faith? Especially, you know, in an industry that we know is heavily, even among the Muslims, heavily associated with interests.
Yes. So, sorry, bro.
No, I was just going to say, because I know this is major for you. Walillah alhamd.
Yes. Alhamdulillah. So, subhanAllah, man, there was, honestly, there was a gradual, so for me, practicing Islam didn't happen overnight. So there was a gradual kind of coming to Islam. So, first thing that happened immediately was leaving all the haram that I knew was haram. Okay. Which was woman, music, like all those things where,
it's clear,
late
like we know
teenager,
already.
like it's done, bro. This is the life you want to live, right? When I made my mini hijrah to Michigan, I left all that.
I love mini hijrah.
Yeah. I'm like, bro, because you're leaving the sin behind.
That's true, though.
I would have been killed if I was in New York. It was that bad. You know, my closest friend, he died when he was 29. You know, and he was my closest buddy. He died out of drug overdose. And we're just hanging out every day together. So you know what path my trajectory became. Like, and here's the thing, and sorry to digress, bro, just to add a point there. Sometimes when you're, and this is the point I was trying to relate to, then I forgot. Backbencher and also becoming first every semester, it's dangerous, man. Because that's when guys like that, right? Then you could do crazy things with your friends and still do 2 jobs and still do great in college and still pay all the bills and everything. You understand? So that person becomes dangerous if they're not guided.
Right.
You know, if they don't have a mentor. So that was me. So I did not leave any of my obligations. You know, I was still working. I was doing everything, but at the same time doing crazy stuff with my friends. So the only way to get rid of that was to change the locality, change the city state. But coming back to your question, bro. So, yeah, so that was the first step. Then when I got into that Islamic finance company, now I understand Islamic finance way better. The pros, the cons, how Islamic they are, what are the challenges. Of course, this is not the podcast for it. Actually, I did a podcast, mashallah, with brother Umar Sulaiman. Yeah, chief risk officer. Not the Umar Sulaiman you're thinking probably.
Okay.
The chief risk officer of Wahid Invest, mashallah. He's an Islamic finance expert. Okay. So, bro, you got to watch that podcast, right? So, alhamdulillah. So now my knowledge, and we're trying to do something on Islamic finance industry as well, is much deeper. But at that point, for me, the understanding was very simple. If we use an Islamic finance company to get the financing done, then it's Islamic.
Right.
Okay. And cash is, of course, is like cash you're buying. So all my clients, other than the first year in real estate, literally 100% of them, my personal clients, up until 2018, 2019, were either doing Islamic finance mortgage or doing cash. Okay? Cash purchases. Alhamdulillah. Then when I came to further realization and also business expanded in a way, alhamdulillah, I did not have to also deal with Islamic finance mortgage clients either. And since 2019 and completely from COVID time up until now, it's only cash clients.
Wow.
Literally only cash. Okay. So there is no riba being done. And actually, people might say, okay, bro, then this is not for me, right? I don't know how to get into it, how to crack it, because real estate is such an expensive investment vehicle. How am I going to go into it? It's a high ticket investment. How am I going to go into it without any loans? Because I don't have that much cash saved up. Then I have to do other things before I get into it. So real estate is not for me now. And this is where I wish I knew. And I have learned it around 2018, 2019 time. But there are at least 4 viable ways that you can get into real estate without having to put any of your money or taking any loans from the bank with any interest.
SubhanAllah.
At least 4 viable ways. Okay.
I'm ready to learn this. I need my notebook.
Yeah.
But
So it's simple, Brian. You know a lot of these too. Number 1 is joint venturing. Okay. Joint venturing with another investor. So there's 4 things needed, let's say, in a real estate deal. 1 is someone has to find the deal. Number 2, someone has to negotiate the deal. The number 3, someone has to manage that deal. Right. The construction, the property management, collecting the rent and all that. And number 4, somebody has to finance the deal.
Right.
So if you bring these 3 skills, bro, all you need to do is find the person with the money and you guys do a 50-50 JV.
Crazy.
Simple. Okay.
Amazing.
Number 2 is it could be a land contract. Do you remember land contract in America? So it's more like lease to own.
Okay.
Not fully, where you can do direct seller financing. Okay. So basically, the
seller's financing you. You don't have to do the interest.
Exactly.
Right.
It's harder to find, harder to do, but 100% possible.
I did this with a car.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing.
Bro. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Number 3 is wholesaling. Are you familiar with wholesaling?
Very much so.
Oh my God, I loved it, bro.
Yeah,
I made my first wholesaling deal in 2018. I made $51,704 from one deal.
Allah Mubarak.
And this is not investing any of my money.
Just finding the deal.
Just finding the deal, finding a distressed seller, finding a distressed property. The seller was in New Zealand, wanted to get rid of this 12-unit apartment because the property management was stealing money from him. He was not making any money, but it's actually a property with lots of potential. Then I found the buyer, connected them, assigned my contract, and made a $51,704 assignment fee.
Just on the contract?
Yes. And alhamdulillah.
Amazing.
And after that, I didn't have to look back because wholesaling was the key. And number 4, alhamdulillah, we're going to touch on that a lot more in future, is rent arbitrage, where you can lease for 99 years a 200-unit building.
Crazy.
You know, what the owner is looking at, because everybody's at different levels in their game. They're looking at, they need stable cash flow.
Yep.
Where you're looking at as an entrepreneur, as a young, hungry guy, how I can quadruple this now.
Wow.
Right? How I can double this lease. Example, I pay $100K a year lease. I will sublease it for $250,000 a year. My expenses are, let's say, $70,000. I'm still making $80,000.
Yep.
Did I spend any money? No. Maybe just upfront lease and security deposit and furnishings. That too, the most important skill, bro, to learn as a real estate entrepreneur, any entrepreneur, is how to raise capital.
Assalamu alaikum, guys. If you're looking to get into tech, real estate, entrepreneurship, or simply make hijrah, let's connect. Click the link below to speak with me, and I'll help you scale exponentially and fast track that process for you. And now let's get back to the podcast. Wow.
This is also another thing I wish I learned long before. I learned that in 2018, 2019. I wish I learned that in 2013 when I started real estate. So all those books and audiobooks that I was listening on how to sell, what's the best script, bro, BS.
Nothing in there.
No. Learn how to raise capital. Jeff Bezos needed to learn it. Bill Gates needed to learn it. Warren Buffett still does it every year with the shareholders meeting. What do you think he's doing? Is he there to inspire you, motivate you? No, he's raising capital.
Give up money.
Yes.
Invest your money with us.
Invest your money with us. Yeah. Everybody has different style. Warren Buffett's style is going to write an emotional letter for you, get you all emotionally riled up. He's the old wise dinosaur, the elephant, right? That's his way of raising capital, but he's raising capital. You know, Zelensky raises capital, bro. Yeah. Even the presidents.
Crazy.
Donald Trump just raised $100 billion from Japanese finance minister before even he took the office.
Yes. Oh, double it. He said he's going to double it.
Yes. Then in his first term, he raised $400 billion from Saudi Arabia. His first visit, right?
You know, I never thought about it like this. You're teaching me something crazy right now.
Bro, it's all about raising capital. Elon Musk raised $230-something million and gave it to the PAC, the Republican campaign, whatever. Bro, I forgot. It just slipped my mind. For the election campaign. For the Trump campaign.
And now he's a politician.
The super PAC. Yeah, now everybody says he's the president, right? So it's all about raising capital, man. How to structure the
Israel.
deal. Yeah.
Raising money.
Crazy. Yeah. If you learn the skill of raising capital, you'll never be broke. And if you're coming with the skills of the trade, then you know how to raise capital. You never need your own money.
Wow.
Remember, money is one of the skills. Like one of the resources people come with.
Right.
If you don't have that resource, it's okay. There's so many other resources needed to put this deal together. Make sure you have those.
You have to have those.
Don't come without those and also broke. Then you don't have a seat at the table, Habibi.
Right.
There are 10 seats at the table. Pick one.
Yeah.
Right?
So good.
And we just think about the money seat. Yeah. Oh, I don't have that. That means I have no seat. No.
Right.
Walk into that table, figure out what are the other 9 seats made of. Make sure you're great at one. You'll get that seat.
Continue, please.
Continue. Yeah.
Because, you know, it's crazy you saying this.
Yeah.
I mean, you just taught me something I know, but I didn't know. You know what I mean? Like this whole, like you just gave all these examples of all these people raising money.
Yeah.
You said Zelensky's raising money.
Of course
he's raising money.
I think he's the biggest, like the best fundraiser in the last 10 years, in the last decade, bro.
Crazy.
I think he's in close competition with Trump, who's the better fundraiser. Seriously, man. Because every time he comes to White House, he goes with hundreds of millions of dollars.
Crazy.
You know how hard that is?
That's insane. To convince Congress and all these people.
Like, imagine how many things you have to show and make sense of.
Yeah. Never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
But definitely I know for a fact what you're saying is true. You know what I mean? I mean, look at every single successful company that was a startup.
Yep.
Whether we talk about Amazon, we talk about Tesla, we talk about whoever.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they say the greatest skill any CEO can have is actually raising capital.
Oh, absolutely. That's why they bring CEOs, bro.
Yeah.
How much access to capital do you have?
Right.
Do you think they're looking at which university, Ivy League university you went to just for your education? No.
Your
connections, your network.
Yeah.
How many calls can you make to the alumni?
Crazy.
How many calls can you make? And like within 24-hour notices, how much capital can you raise? How much can you raise?
Wow.
Imagine, bro, we have a Muslim circle like that.
Oh, we have, inshallah.
Inshallah.
We
make 10 calls, $10 million in. But this is how we need to operate, man.
Right.
This is how we need to operate. And I'm saying very small number. 10 million is like, we know in our world, bro, 10 million, you just run out of it like with 1 or 2 buildings.
Yeah.
You don't do nothing.
Yeah, that's
nothing
true.
happens. Nobody cares. You have $10 million. This is another thing I've learned, bro. Like these numbers are, it depends what your goal is. Mashallah, you can live on $80,000, $100,000, no problem. But don't, like when you hear 10 million, don't think, oh my God, that's it.
Right.
Bro, when I was getting married, my dream was to make $3,000 per month, stable income. And I thought life would be all set.
Yeah.
You know, but that's being selfish. In this current day and world, I think that's being selfish, bro. If you have the potential, the capacity to make more, help more, live more, give more, I think it's just being selfish, capping yourself like that. Right? Absolutely. Yep.
I'm going to not diverge because, you're throwing out these key things that's just making me want to go somewhere else, but I'll try to stay disciplined, man.
Inshallah, bro. Sorry, brother.
No, I appreciate you. Allah, I'm
having fun, man.
I know everybody, bi'idhnillah, who watch this and listen. If they listen, they're going to learn.
Yeah.
A lot.
Inshallah.
If the whole episode was just this part about raising funds, and they actually internalize that, it's over.
And everybody will realize it, bro. In different stages of like, I hope everybody realizes it today.
Yeah.
I realized it late. I hope
I'm
everybody.
glad you're here giving it back.
Yeah, no, alhamdulillah, man. I realized it way too late.
No. It's not too late, bro. Yeah. Inshallah, it's not too late.
Inshallah.
But you're on the goal to hit that billion and 4 billion raise, inshallah.
Yes, inshallah. You remember, man.
Of course I remember.
That means you listen, brother. And that's why your audience will listen.
For sure.
Inshallah, your audience will listen.
Barakallah fiqh. Barakallah fiqh. So, I mean, talking about discipline. Your discipline and drive, it's evident, to be honest, right? In what you've been able to achieve so far. Bifadlillah, and going through the challenges that you went through and being, where you are now. Bifadlillah azza wa jal. But how do you stay focused? And how do you motivate yourself when things get tough and they get tough and they will get tough?
Yeah. Good question, brother. And I get this asked often. And I try to frame it in a way where it's understandable to everyone, inshallah. But I think I don't try to rely on motivation, bro. Because it's not a reliable source of motivation,
Right.
Because motivation goes up and down.
For sure.
Yeah. What I try to rely on is discipline. Because if that's built, it's built for good.
Right.
Regardless of if it's snowing outside, if it's raining outside, regardless if it's cold outside or hot outside, if you have the discipline, if you build the discipline, you will show up where you need to show up.
For sure.
Regardless of how you feel. With motivation, you are relying on your feelings. And feelings go up and down. If it's too hot, you're not going to feel good. If it's too cold, you're not going to feel good. And you don't control those factors.
Wow.
So you are relying on things that you don't control. With discipline, you're just relying on you. Alhamdulillah, I woke up today. Alhamdulillah, that's it, bro. I'm going to do everything I need to do because if years of doing it, I have built this discipline. I think the key thing we need to know is winners and achievers don't wait for momentum to happen. High achievers and winners produce momentum on demand. And this is what we need to do, bro. Like we're doing right now. Produce momentum on demand. Mashallah, I know you have been here and you have been doing a lot more before that. From 10 a.m., bro. You're here, you did one podcast. Maybe you didn't feel like it. Maybe you were nervous. Maybe while coming down here, you had issues. Maybe you're thinking, should I even do it, man? I don't even know what to ask Harris. What kind of question to ask? I don't know. I don't know what's going to take. All these thoughts come to you.
Right.
You came, you showed up, and you had a killer podcast. I saw how happy you were when I met you and Harris. So you manufactured, that's the word I was looking for. You manufactured the momentum for yourself, bro.
Right.
After that, what's happening? It's easy. You're in a roll.
Yep.
Then you're coming to the room, you're saying, Sam, what are you going to do? You want to be on the podcast first, or you're going to be doing like boom, boom. You're just like rolling. So winners know how to manufacture momentum on demand. And that's done through discipline. So what is discipline? It's literally creating a list of your non-negotiables, very few non-negotiables, and start to doing them. Okay, start doing them. For example, 5 times prayer. Now, regardless of how you feel,
you go pray.
You go pray, bro.
Yeah.
And what is our deen teaching us? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows, bro, every prayer we're not going to feel the same way. It's impossible. Some prayers, subhanAllah, may Allah forgive me, bro. I prayed and I was like, so, man, what kind of prayer was this?
Did I even pray?
Yeah, like what kind of prayer was this, man? I don't remember anything in the last 4 rakah. What did I do?
Yeah.
It's so bad. And sometimes, bro, I just feel like the prayer never ends.
Yeah.
Because that's iman. This goes up and down.
Up and down.
But regardless of that, like imagine, bro, if we only prayed when our iman felt high, we would completely lose the iman and never prayed. It's the same thing saying, waiting for you to feel motivated. Then you would never do it and then you would never feel motivated.
So good.
You understand? So you have to have these non-negotiables that you do regardless of how you feel. Masjid, working out.
Right.
You know, I think if those 2 key pillars we can build, man, that we do, because prayer teaches so many things. So does working out, man.
Right.
It teaches so many things.
Discipline.
Bro, doing
resilience.
That. Exactly, man. When you are praying, let's say as man, we're praying in the masjid. But really, whoever knows us in our circle, nobody's watching.
Right.
You're still going and praying.
Yeah.
Because you fear Allah.
So
that's the discipline. Same thing in gym, bro.
Right.
Nobody's watching, bro, if you're doing 3 sets of 10 each or just doing 1 set of 4.
Only you know.
Only you know.
Always
why do you think you're still doing it?
Yeah.
Because that builds the discipline. Now you keep doing it for a day, a week, a month, a quarter, a year. Now imagine a decade of doing things regardless of how you feel, regardless of who's watching, regardless of what time of the day it is. Bro, you become an unstoppable force.
Beast.
Only thing who stops you, only being who stops you is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You don't stop yourself. Many times we stop ourselves with the whispers of shaitan, our own whispers, our own nafs. We're just making excuses for us, bro.
Wow.
So discipline it is. Build discipline.
Building habits.
Building powerful habits.
That powerful. Yeah. Thank you so much. Powerful, positive habits that now actually trickle down to other things.
Yes.
Because if you're able to do this for one thing, truly you can take it on for the next, and the next thing you know, it's affecting other parts of your life.
Absolutely, bro. When you're at the gym, you're doing 1 more rep. You're pushing yourself to do 1 more rep.
Right.
Same thing you're going to do when you're making those cold calls.
Right.
When nobody's going to watch, you're going to still make that 1 extra call. Everything, that muscle you build of doing 1 more.
Right. Because I mean, that's life in every single thing, right? When we think about it.
Yep.
That's the difference between the doers and the non-doers, right? Is that you're going to just have to keep pushing through every single day. And even if you, Elon Musk, you got 400 billion, guess what? You're still going to have to wake up and keep pushing through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Otherwise, you're not maintaining it.
Yeah.
Right? Because making it is hard. Destroying is easy.
Easy, bro.
Right.
And this is a key word you use right now, maintaining.
Right.
There is no, bro, maintenance mode. Either you're creating or destroying.
Right.
Either you're growing or you're dying. There's no maintenance mode.
Right.
There's no way as a human, we're not angels. We cannot keep our iman stable at 1 iman at the same time.
Can't.
Either the iman is going up or going down, bro.
Yep.
Literally, and that's what everything in life is. Is either going up or down.
Right.
It cannot think of anything in your head right now. There is no constant, bro. There is no constant.
The weather, whatever you think of.
Whatever you think of, there's no constant.
Subhanallah.
right? And everything we are doing, our relationships, our finances, our fitness, either we're growing or it's dying, man.
It's really,
yeah.
That's true. Yeah. That's very powerful, man. Jazakallah khair. The time is going down, but there's a couple of questions I have to ask, man.
Please.
I have to ask this. I know that you have this goal to help other Muslims do what you've done. Build their real estate, empires, bi'idhnillah azza wa jal, their portfolios with our interests, which is so needed, right? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, each one of us has this goal of hoping to at least own their home, own some assets, and stuff like this. But the challenge is that, interest is embedded into, everyday life so much so that it's hard to escape it. I think there's narrations that even actually speak about this, right? But it's going to be hard to escape that. So what do you think is the most important thing for Muslims to understand about creating wealth in the halal way?
I think I can only share, bro, what worked for me, right? What worked for me is your reputation is your currency. Okay? So you have to build your reputation in any industry, whatever industry you're in a certain industry, you have to build your reputation. Okay? How do you build your reputation? Become undeniably great at what you're doing. It should be undeniable.
Right.
Okay? So for me, it was a real estate salesperson. Simple. This is how I started. A realtor, bro. Okay? When I started, the first office I was in, the first year of my becoming the real estate licensed realtor, first year, I beat everyone in the office. I was the number one agent. There were agents there for decades. I beat them. I asked the managing broker for something. He couldn't provide. I respectfully left, went to another firm. In that firm, I was there for 2 more years. Those 2 years, every month, I beat everyone else.
The competitiveness.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, bro. And it was just becoming undeniably great.
Right.
It shouldn't be arguably you're the greatest. You should be undeniably the greatest at whatever you're doing. Right? Then what happened? That broker used to email every month. He had 200 plus agents. Email every month. Hey, this is the number one agent, blah, blah. He used to recognize. My name used to come up almost every month without exception of few for those 2 years. Then after that 2 years, I opened up my own farm. I did not even market because my target was not to become a big brokerage. My target was just I want to be left alone, do my own thing, help my investors, Safirs and Razis and other people, and just keep grow it as an investment farm. But when I left and opened it, all those agents that were there in the email chain, the Muslim ones reached out to me, even though I never spoke to them, never reached out to them. Hey, bro, we heard you opened up your own farm. Can we come and work with you? So what happened? Reputation is the currency. You became undeniably great. Now people want to work with you. Okay? So how does it relate to the question you said, bro? With anything you want, first you have to be undeniably great at what you're doing. Once you become that allowed me to structure these deals. And that's the precursor. The year that I made my first million, the key reason was that I made 600,000 and change from a joint venture deal. And I made a full video on this on my YouTube channel, how I completely structured the deal. Everybody can watch it for free, bro, and structure it themselves.
I've watched it.
Oh, you have watched it? Yeah. So how you structured the joint venture deal, I have done the full video and full breakdown.
For free.
Yeah. So watch it, implement it.
Yeah.
But in order for you to implement it, you have to build that reputation. And reputation, there's two sides of the coin. One is reputation with yourself and reputation with other people. What do I mean by that? So if you don't keep the promises you make to yourself, you don't have confidence. You don't have reputation with yourself. And this is how we lose confidence, bro. We lose self-esteem. Because I said, I'm going to wake up tomorrow. Tomorrow it is. I'll start working out. I'll pray Fajr, then I'll go to the gym. I don't wake up. The next day when I say that to myself, I don't believe it anymore.
You won't believe yourself anymore.
Yep. Same thing with other people. Your word should be so good that people can take it to the bank and cash it. Right? So if it's not that, you're not building your reputation. Right? So from an investment point of view, you have to be skilled at what you're doing. Bring those skills to the table. Bro, there are so many rich physicians, lawyers. They have money, bro.
Right.
They don't have time. They don't invest in real estate. They don't understand it. They don't have
They don't
time.
want to learn it.
They don't want to learn it because it's not worth the ROI. In order to like sit with the book and learn real estate, bro, it's not worth the ROI, right? You can approach them once you have done a couple of wholesale deals, become a real estate agent, help some investors, do some wholesale deals yourself, create some testimonials, have a past book of business record, reach out to them, bro. Your doors will open up. It's not even hard. You just have to work hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The market rewards the doers.
The market rewards the doers, man, and punishes the lazies.
SubhanAllah.
This is what I love about the market.
I mean, as Muslims, akhi, we know, right? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, they took action.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's why we're here. You know what I mean? So that's, at the end of the day, there's no, SubhanAllah, think about the story of Maryam alayhi salatu wasalam. Pregnant.
Always
struggling.
Inspires me, man.
She has to shake that tree. She cannot shake even if she was not in that state. But you have to take action, right? And Allah Azza wa Jal, you have to take the asbab, the means.
Yes.
And Allah will provide.
Allah uses this example over and over again, right? Even with Musa alayhi salam, throw the stick in the sea, and so many other examples, bro. Even if we think it's not going to do anything, but Allah's teaching us, you have to do your part.
You have to take action. Because Allah Azza wa Jal doesn't need Musa to do this thing.
Exactly.
But he has to take action.
Bifadlillah.
Akhi, barakallahu fiqh. So, I wish we could just continue, man. But
I'm enjoying it.
I'm enjoying some likewise, stuff, though. I still got to bring in some stuff here. So, again, I know, you have this thing coming up, Ibn Allah Azza wa Jal, I think January of...
Yeah, bro. So, alhamdulillah, man. This is subhanAllah. This is good. This is good that you asked me.
Yeah.
I think, man, I just always have this, like, I don't know, man. I don't feel comfortable, like...
Talking about it?
Yeah, no, not talking about it. Mashallah, I think the online space is good. It's needed.
Yeah.
Right? But I delayed the community launch. Like, I'm not doing the webinar. Maybe I'll do it if there is I don't know, man. I just think like...
I was just looking at it yesterday. I'm like, I signed up, by the way.
Yeah, inshallah,
I've been signed up.
Inshallah, you'll get an email. But we're putting something else together where inshallah we can benefit people.
Okay.
But I don't know, man. Because I have never been, online charging money for advice. I've not been in that space. But
I mean...
Yeah, it's not a good way to look at it. I'm realizing this. It's not a good way to look at it. Because what I'm doing... Okay, if I'm not comfortable with that, what am I doing? Am I actually then... I'm not. Because it's not... it doesn't make sense with my time.
Right.
Then I'm not advising people. I'm not charging. So I'm not doing nothing.
You're not doing anything. And what you have is needed. Some people need this. 100%. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Me and Harris was just talking about this.
Yeah.
I was telling him from day one, you got to do consulting. You have so much value to give.
Yeah.
And people who understand that value would be willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
Bro, you encouraged me to attend this event.
Yeah, mashallah.
You remember, right?
Yes, of course.
Sam put the icing on the cake. Because I was like,
Alhamdulillah, man, alhamdulillah.
Akhi, I was just sitting here with Harris.
Yeah.
You understand what I paid for that event?
Oh, yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Just not for the podcast. I'm talking about for what I learned from this man.
Yeah.
In one sitting.
Yeah.
You think it wasn't worth every penny I spent there?
Right, of course.
And this is the difference between those who understand what value is. Right? With price.
Yeah.
So that goes back to, you have experience.
Yeah.
That money can't buy. Truly.
Mm-hmm.
If I paid you right now per hour to, bro, I can't afford you by myself.
No, come on.
No, really. I mean, I'm not humble, but I mean, if a whole bunch of people were paying you, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
But, and still though, you out here giving free game. Walillah, alhamdulillah, jazakallah khairan. For those who want to listen and benefit, right?
Yeah.
So you're postponing that.
Yes, I'm
postponing. What's coming in place instead? I want these people to benefit like that.
Yeah. So, actually the email is going to go out in the next couple of days.
Okay.
And we're actually postponing it to after Ramadan.
Okay.
And until then, inshallah, we'll just keep doing what we're doing, but we're going to show more of the educational things. Like I'm doing this development in Dubai South. Alhamdulillah, I'm keeping it under, very close, like closet kind of. And I was just waiting for Dubai the DLD to commission it. Literally, bro, we got the preliminary approval just yesterday. Alhamdulillah. Friday. Alhamdulillah.
Allahumma barik.
Yes. So this is a huge news. Now we're going to make some final adjustments, resubmit it. Our engineer is going to do that. And then we're ready to start construction. It's a G+6. And a total of 72 units apartment building. Alhamdulillah. That we're going to develop from scratch.
Wow.
And what I want to do is take people to the journey behind the screen. So we're going to do a lot of those videos, how to, even read a blueprint.
Wow.
Okay, how to read it, because there's no such videos from a Muslim understanding. And there's some things actually we're doing with the layout that are more Muslim friendly, like wudu areas and things like that. So inshallah, like a lot more of those videos, a lot more candid meetings, you know, and those kind of things we'll keep sharing, inshallah. And podcasts, bro, we're gonna bring like, you know, these are all my friends. We're gonna bring a lot of high caliber people that are not probably big on social media, but these are giants.
Inshallah.
These are giants in their fields, ultra high net worth individuals, and they're gonna drop knowledge for people as well, inshallah.
And we can get all this for free on your channel.
Inshallah, man. Inshallah. Yes.
I mean, so the beautiful thing is you may be delaying that, but all this free stuff is coming. So whoever wants to just come and grab it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Credit to Brother Imran, man. He's been mashallah, bro. This is the big brother. Another thing I wish, but everything happens.
Big sheikh, not just in the deen, but also in the
in the game, bro.
Yeah, Allah
and, you know, but everything happens. I think Allah knows what's the right timing. But subhanAllah, like a big brother like him, I wish I had in my life much earlier. Alhamdulillah, he's guiding me on so many things, bro.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, you have him now. Everything at its proper timing.
Yes, exactly.
You know,
man. Alhamdulillah. May Allah bless him, preserve him.
Akhi, we here, bifadlillah, through him.
All
you know,
of us,
he
bro,
introduced us.
Connected.
You know, alhamdulillah, akhi. May Allah reward him and preserve him and increase him. And, you know, I'm glad that sometimes, you know, a person is able to tune out the naysayers, you know, have your focus, have your goal.
Yeah.
Just know that you're here to please Allah Azza wa Jal and not the people. Do the right thing. You know
if we could just learn that skill from him, bro.
Yeah.
Imagine like how much hate he was getting at one point, and he was able to block out his amazing journey.
And even now, like with this, you know, all this stuff with the righteous and rich, righteous rights.
Even now, bro.
You know, people are. I'm talking about, you know, from my own. Like I know people talking like, oh, you want to do it? Why you want to associate? Bro, I'm willing to go to a mastermind. By a Yahudi. Okay.
And not
to learn something. Right. That's going to benefit me in my business. You know. Why wouldn't I go to a mastermind by a Muslim upon the Sunnah that I know is going to teach me something that's going to benefit me not only for my business, but in fact my religion is being benefited, and truly, sincerely, bifadlillah azza wa jal, this event, and may Allah reward you for pushing me. Right, bro, is one of the most amazing things I've ever attended.
Wow, mashallah.
Bifadlillah.
Mashallah.
Right?
It's coming to the next one. The timing is so bad for me, bro. Like, why, man?
You know,
why
don't put me on the spot right now, because yesterday I was about to tell Abu Bakr book me, but I'm like, bro, the projects, because, you know, but again, I don't want to make excuses. It's 3 days.
It's only 3 days.
You know, I have to see. I haven't.
I'll be in the US, man. I booked the ticket like 4 months ago. There's an event.
You have an excuse. You have a valid excuse.
Yeah.
I may have to show up for us then.
Yeah.
You know, and document everything and bring it back.
You have to, man. You have to, bro.
Khalas. If I have to do that, then, you know, say no more.
Inshallah.
You know, you can count
Seriously,
on
do
me,
it, bro. Seriously.
I would love to be there. You know what I mean? So I was just thinking also about the projects. You know, even though it's 3 days, but I still have to think, you know, can I really realistically do it right before Ramadan? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the time zone is good, man. That's why, like, you know, managing your project in Saudi, living in UAE, or vice versa, it's not hard. It's 1 hour time difference. Because sometimes the US, my problem is, like, my day starts at 6 p.m. here.
Yeah.
With the US guys.
Yeah. I did that for a long time. I hated it.
Yeah, because it's 9 a.m.
Yeah.
And California guys are still just waking up. It's 6 a.m. there.
Yeah. Yeah, stuff.
Like I had a 6:30 a.m. call today with one of my California guys. It was just 6:30 p.m. He's just chilling.
Wow.
And I'm doing the call after Fajr. This is my first call, and I'm his last call, you know?
Right. That's kind of good, though. I like that. I like the California one.
Yes.
New York? No.
Yeah, it's just middle, right? Out of nowhere.
It's kind of tough. But California sounds nice for you and for him.
Yes, alhamdulillah.
Sam, this is part one. I hope you know that. Part one of literally.
Bro, we'll do part hundreds, man. And the next one's maybe not in this setting. Let's leave it a surprise, bro. Maybe we'll do it somewhere.
Oh, we're gonna do it in places they're not gonna imagine. They
cannot imagine we're at, inshallah.
So some of these questions I was gonna ask you, actually, subhanAllah, you answered them earlier. But I do want to at least close with one. I was going to ask you, you know, how people can connect with you. I'm not even going to ask because this already know and we're going to put it there, right? Inshallah, that's easy. So I don't even need to ask, right? To save time. But at least one piece of advice, right? And you did say, you know, certain things you wish you will tell your younger self. Alhamdulillah, you covered that. But at least for aspiring Muslim entrepreneurs, which is one of the goals of this podcast, is to show Muslims that we do have Muslims here who are practicing, they're not compromising their religion, and they still making moves in a halal way.
Yes.
Right? And also they hear if you need anything, right? Like someone doing real estate, someone doing marketing, someone doing, something else, if you need any services, these are the brothers to reach out to. But the last piece that I hope that people will get out of this podcast is actually inspiration, because all of us need it at the end of the day, right? So for aspiring Muslim entrepreneurs who are just getting started, who are on the verge of thinking, you know what, I want to do something, but I haven't been able to, what would you say is the first step they should take to building a successful, sustainable, scalable business? Bi-idhnillah.
Yep. I think first step is, bro, singularity of focus. That's the first step. Because with the scrolling trend and generation we're in, you see this idea, you start jumping on it, then another idea pops up, 20 ideas pop up, right? And I think it's what do you call that, bro? The shiny object syndrome. I think sometimes for an entrepreneur, it's actually a strength, because that's what makes us entrepreneurs, right? But it's a delicate balance.
Double-edged sword,
man. Yeah. Because a bridge, you don't collect the toll from an incomplete bridge.
Yeah.
So imagine you start building a bridge. Halfway through, you're like, no, I don't like the design. I like that one, or I like that lake or that river. Let me go on that. Let me jump on that. You start building another one, 60% through. You change again. You come. None of them you're collecting toll on.
Who amongst us is not far?
Exactly, man. So you are building half bridges, quarter bridges, 70% bridges, and you're never getting paid. Many can start, only a few can finish. Be the few. So singularity of focus, and this is where, again, discipline comes in so important, bro. While you're doing this, while you're, let's say, taking your real estate license, be so disciplined that, hey, I'll have half an hour allocated to look for other new opportunities.
Right.
Not like randomly scrolling and listening to this guy, that guy, this podcast, that podcast. No. Everything all day got to be real estate. While you're taking your license, you're listening to real estate entrepreneurs. Some are teaching you sales. Some are teaching you marketing. Some are teaching you how to structure deals. Some are teaching you how to raise private capital. You're raising those all day. Half an hour, you're just chilling, let's say. Doesn't you don't chill. You just don't. You have another topic, like a question came to your mind. And you're like, hey, I'm just going to look at that one.
Right.
You quickly start scrolling on that, right? But other than that, singularity of focus on whatever you decide, you hone in on that, double down on that, and this is the only way to win, man.
This is, I'm hearing Imran a bit.
Oh, really?
Well, I know. No, because, it's why I'm saying that.
Yeah.
It's because this is proven and tested. You're speaking from experience.
Alhamdulillah.
When we just had the event, and I say I'm hearing him a bit because he had to literally advise a lot of people this, right? In the room. Like, focus.
Right.
Don't do so many things. I had to learn this the hard way. And that's why I was like, is there any one of us who, at some point, we wish we had mentors actually to tell us this, so we don't fall under the trap of the built bridges, because it's easy to fall for that.
100%.
So I remember, Imran was telling all of us in the room, pick the one that gives you the most returns, for example. Double down on that. Focus on that. Take that to the end.
Yeah.
As an entrepreneur, for sure, that's not going to be the last thing.
Nope.
Right? Don't be Elon Musk today.
Yeah.
Elon Musk built and sold one business,
right?
Moved to another, and then,
yes,
when he was in a position now finally of influence and all that stuff, he's able to do that.
Yep.
Right? Jeff Bezos,
yes,
it was Amazon,
thing, same
right?
thing. Yep.
And Steve Jobs, anyone you want to look at, right?
Yep.
You have to stay focused on that one thing and drive it and be the best. And you just gave me this advice some days ago when we met, right?
Yes.
Be known for this thing in Medina, and
yes.
I have to. And subhanallah. Everybody I speak to, I tell them this, I have to make this a focus. Not only because, to be known as this guy, because I know if I can crush this, then guess what happens when I say I'll take it somewhere else?
Right.
Replication.
Yes.
Easy,
Alhamdulillah.
So, bro, I wish we could just keep going.
Yes, we will, man, inshallah.
I appreciate you. Jazakallah khairan.
Yeah.
I'm going to end every episode with the reminder that at the end of the day, as Muslims, our success lies with Allah Azza wa Jal. Right? Tawheed first, Tawheed last.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, success truly is only from Allah Azza wa Jal. Nothing else.
Yeah.
And also, there's no ability except by His tawfiq.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, my parting advice to myself and to everybody who listen is to always be mindful of Allah Azza wa Jal. In business, in everything you do, know that you are here only to worship your Lord. That's why you were created. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ, except to worship Allah Azza wa Jal, right? So everything we're doing, if we are conscious and we make this conscious effort and the intention, it becomes worship.
Yes.
And whoever fears Allah Azza wa Jal, it's a guarantee in the Quran. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَل لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. Whoever fears Allah, Allah will make a way out for them. Out of every difficulty. It's a promise. And Allah Azza wa Jal never, ever breaks his promise. Right? وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبْ. We all seeking a rizq. We wake up every single day. Every single human being on the planet, whatever effort they're making, is seeking rizq. And rizq comes in so many different forms. You seek your sustenance. Allah again has guaranteed you that rizq. If only you did this one thing. Obey him, fear him, worship him.
Right.
He guarantees your rizq. وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. And whoever put their trust and reliance upon Allah Azza wa Jal, He will suffice them. Whoever Allah suffices, he needs nothing else. He needs no one else. Know that, we talk about these deals, we talk about this and that. At the end of the day, na'am, we take the means, we take the asbab, I will show you that project. I'll talk about it. We'll have those calls and the meetings with the investors. That's all asbab. But we know one thing we have to always keep in mind, that the success is going to come from Allah. And if Allah doesn't decree that, it's not going to happen. So
powerful, brother. Powerful.
Last piece of advice, general, anything.
Yeah. I think it would be a little funny advice, bro.
Yeah.
It just came to my mind 5 minutes ago. Sometimes we overestimate what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I just want to tell, especially young Muslim men, that work harder, nobody cares. Yeah.
That's true.
Alhamdulillah, man.
Barakallah fiqh, man.
Thank
I appreciate it. Jazakallah khairan. And I ask Allah Azza wa Jal to make this a benefit for me and you and for everybody who hears it.
Absolutely.
And make it heavy on our scales of good deeds.
Amin.
Barakallah fiqh.
It's a pleasure.
Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.